Good day everyone. This video can be a teacher's guide in developing the higher-order thinking skills of teachers, emphasizing applying a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking skills, as well as higher-order thinking skills. As teachers, we come to class every day with the hope that we will make learning for every learner meaningful. Equipped with sufficient knowledge and skills, we embrace the world of diverse learners. One of the challenges we face is how to engage them into classroom activities that foster critical, creative, and higher-order thinking skills. More than making our learners remember what we teach, we also want them to use the knowledge they learn to analyze problems, evaluate options, and create solutions. This can only be possible when learners are provided with classroom environments that develop and nurture their thinking skills. In this module, we will focus on the strategies for developing critical and creative thinking, as well as other higher-order thinking skills. Indicator 1.5.2 Apply a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking, as well as other higher-order thinking skills. Understanding the following significant concepts facilitates deeper appreciation of the indicator and helps you deliver lessons that are responsive to creative, critical, as well as higher-order thinking skills. So, let us now acquaint ourselves with the following key concepts. Teaching strategies. These refer to the structure, system, methods, techniques, procedures, and processes that a teacher uses during instruction. These are strategies the teacher employs to assist student learning creative thinking skills. These are thinking skills that involve exploring ideas, generating possibilities, and looking for many right answers rather than just one. Critical thinking skills. These are high-level thinking skills such as analysis, evaluation, interpretation, or synthesis of information and application of creative thought to form an argument, solve a problem, or reach a conclusion. Higher-order thinking skills. These are complex thinking processes which include analysis, evaluation, synthesis, reflection, and creativity. The teacher's application of instructional strategy is crucial in the development of critical, creative, and higher-order thinking skills. We need to remember that our instruction should apply a range of strategies to develop creative, critical, and higher-order thinking skills. Our learners are thinking and creative individuals. Our role then is to unleash the creativity in each of our learners. It can be noted that problem-based learning, PBL, can be employed in all learning areas and all levels. As you noted with the cited illustrative practices, PBL as a teaching method uses complex real-world problems to promote student learning of concepts and principles. Aside from the understanding of content, it promotes critical thinking skills, problem-solving, and communication skills. Likewise, it can provide opportunities for working in groups, finding and evaluating materials, and lifelong learning. Dutch, Grow, and Allen, 2001. Problem-based learning can be implemented by considering these steps. Dutch, Grow, and Allen, 2001. 1. Choose a learning goal for the learners to attain at the end of instruction. 2. Think of a real-world context for the understanding of the content. Build realistic applications of the concept being taught. 3. Identify the teaching contexts where the problem may be introduced. In doing such, be guided by these questions. A. What open-ended questions can be asked? B. What learning issues will be identified? C. How will the problem be structured? D. What resources will the students need? E. What end product will the students produce at the completion of the problem? 4. Evaluate the learner's performance using appropriate tools/S and provide feedback. Make and deliver activities/exercises aligned with the lesson objectives. Development through effective questioning strategies. Effective questioning can be used as an important classroom tool to develop critical, creative, and higher-order thinking skills. It is also important that teachers like you have deep understanding of the learning objectives as constructed, according to McComas and Rossier, 2005. If you want your students to recall and remember certain knowledge, ask them low-level convergent questions. However, if you want to see if students understand and are able to transfer knowledge, ask them divergent questions. Similarly, they indicated that low-level divergent questions should be asked to see if students can make inferences, find the causes and effects of an issue, and make generalizations. On the other hand, to make them speculate, make evaluations, and think creatively, they should be asked high-level divergent questions. As teachers, we should have a profound understanding of how learning goals are structured so we can formulate questions appropriate to the levels of thinking we want to develop among our learners. To develop critical thinking among your learners, your questioning should encourage them to analyze, evaluate, and create with sample tasks as presented in the table. For your quick guide, please take note of the following considerations. Illinois Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning. Development through visualization. Visualization strategy is a creative thinking strategy which promotes insight, enhances creativity, expands imagination, and strengthens problem-solving skills. This strategy opens up thinking by using sensory information to stimulate imagination with both spoken and written words. Calagua 10 Li, 2014. So how do you teach students to use visualization? Here are some points to consider when using visualization strategy. Miller, 2004, 1. Teachers should directly model the thought processes involved in visualizing. They should read familiar text and describe the images they see in their mind. 2. Read a passage for students to visualize. Choose something that is descriptive so they can easily create vivid images in their mind. Explain to students that when they visualize, it is important to use their background knowledge and words in the text to help them imagine a picture in their mind. It is important students understand that there is not one correct answer. For younger students, start with an object and describe it by color, size, shape, and smell. Ask students to close their eyes and create an image. 5. Students should practice the strategy frequently. They should use visualization during read-alouds and silent reading. Teachers should incorporate both drawings and mental imagery to meet the needs of all students. Development through plus, minus, interesting, PMI, strategy, PMI, plus, minus, interesting. Strategy is a brainstorming, decision-making and critical thinking tool. It is used to encourage the examination of ideas, concepts, and experiences from more than one perspective. PMI was developed by Dr. Edward de Bono, a proponent of lateral and critical thinking. This is simply represented by this 3-column chart. The following might help you in using PMIs. Step 1. Consider the plus points. In this step, simply enumerate all of the positive things you can think of. Don't critique yourself along the way, simply spill out all the positive points that you can think of. Step 2. Consider the minus points. In this step, enumerate all of the negative things you can think of. Again, don't critique yourself. Simply spill out all the negative points you can think of. Step 3. Consider the interesting points of the situation. In this step, enumerate all the interesting points that you can think of. Rather than positive or negative, they are simply points of interest that you should direct your attention to. Step 4. Make your conclusion. In this step, you make your judgment because you've scanned and organized 3 important aspects: the positives, the negatives, and the interesting. Development through role, audience, format, and topic. RAFT strategy. According to Buell, 2009, RAFT is a writing strategy that helps learners understand their role as a writer and they can communicate their ideas effectively. It also helps the learners focus on their writing task and discover ideas from writing. By using this strategy, the teacher can encourage the learners to write creatively and effectively. Other illustrations of practice. The teacher challenges learners cognitively to advance high-level thinking and discourse. Critical thinking. The teacher asks directive and purposeful questions to exercise learners' problem-solving and decision-making skills. The teacher encourages learners to ask questions not just to provide answers but to nurture their problem-solving skills. The teacher allows time for learners to ponder on questions, issues, or problems. The teacher gives learners a variety of experiences that prompt learners to formulate, infer, make decisions, consider possibilities, make judgments, and solve complex problems, e.g., writing reflective journals to state their stand, to reason out, and to present both sides of an issue or argument, participating in peer group activities where members analyze arguments, judge the credibility of every statement, interpret the statements, and generalize ideas, reflecting on what they know, what they will learn and what they have learned, and categorizing things in many possible ways. Creative thinking. The teacher employs divergent thinking strategies which encourages learners to think out of the box by asking them to define a problem, provide solutions, and explain implications of the solution. Learners think of many different and unusual ideas and points of view, then adds details to improve those ideas. The teacher uses instruction that is designed to aid learners in finding meaning in an academic material and keep it by connecting it to their daily lives, e.g., providing opportunities for open-ended questions and questions with multiple responses, and finding relationships between two seemingly unrelated ideas. The teacher uses visualization strategies where learners are tasked to create mental images of something that cannot be seen or that does not exist. The teacher employs creative dramatics where learners explore ideas through physical activities, e.g., pantomime, mirrors, debriefing. The teacher uses analogy where learners compare similar objects or abstract processes, direct, or write about something in another's perspective, personal. Other higher-order thinking. The teacher gives learners opportunities to assess their own work based on the learning goals and make necessary adjustments. The teacher teaches learners how to think aloud through modeling, e.g., thinking hats. The teacher engages learners to think aloud about engaging themselves on a problem. Pupils are paired, where one is the problem solver and the other is the listener. The pair shares experience with the group, i.e., thinking aloud through collaborative inquiry. Learners extend the discussion by inviting comments from their classmates and challenging one another's thinking. Critical thinking. The teacher creates an environment where teacher and learners can freely communicate with each other, express ideas and exchange views that others may not necessarily agree with. Creative thinking. The teacher asks learners to offer multiple varied solutions to complex problems through brainstorming. Other higher-order thinking. The teacher adopts activities that allow learners to monitor their learning, i.e., learning logs, wrap-up, reflective narratives. Learners themselves ensure that all voices are heard in the discussion. Critical thinking. The teacher ensures that questions are within the learner's level of ability or within the context of their experiences. Creative thinking. The teacher generates creative ideas from learners by providing a big picture of what they are learning for them to have something to think flexibly about. Other higher-order thinking. The teacher uses cooperative group work where learners are tasked to discuss understanding, evaluate their own work and others' work, and reflect on learning. After you have explored the different key concepts on applying a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking, as well as other higher-order thinking skills, you now have a better appreciation of the indicator. Based on your learning in this module, think of what you can do to enhance your professional development. Fill in the personal action plan below.